Yes, Olivia stirs. She's not quite conscious, but she
Let,
she definitely stirs.
let's say her eyes are still glowing red instead of their normal green.
Gotcha. Which, looking at your sprite, it's a little spooky
Suddenly edgy
and,
deer.
and
But
slightly Christmassy.
one quick thing.
Oh.
While I do give this exception, heed my warning. Should you ever lose control and kill a single innocent, she summons the rapier from before again and pointed it her way. You're dead. Understood?
Don't worry. If I went that out of control, I would do that myself.
How does one whisper in Roll20?
/W space the username you want to whisper to space then the message.
Gotcha.
Dandy notices that Olivia is stirring and rushes over to her side.
With all of this done, the rapier vanishes, and it just says, "Now I must report what happened here to the head of House Bar. It was what I was tasked to do, after all."
Could you leave certain details out?
Of course.
What do you say?
What did who say?
Corvine.
No, I asked her to leave certain details out of the report.
Oh,
And she has left the room.
okay.
You can't run from me. Get back here.
Actually, that's actually a fair point. Is there anything you wanted to say to Saye? No.
Nah, everybody else kind of said what they wanted to say.
Fair enough.
Well, now that Olivia is up and moving,
Well, not
books.
just yet. She's she's stirring. It appears she is slowly coming to.
Dandy is right by the side.
But
He says,
books.
Olivia. Oh, Olivia, are you okay?
Alright.
What happened?
Oh,
She looks at her Corvine and lets out a scream, a blood curdling scream, as she scrambles away, and I assume into Dandy.
calm down. Calm down. Calm down. It's just Corvine. It's just Corvine.
Bai Guang has considered tossing an illusion over Corvine, but figures that would be rude to Corvine.
Dude. Oh well, enough. Gives a preserved book. She sort of starts breathing quite heavily, quite shallowly, and it appears a fair bit of panic is overcoming her. If you want to attempt to calm her down, I will allow you to roll a persuasion or medicine check to try and fight the oncoming panic attack.
No, well, that's still.
and
I'm sure.
You still have guidance.
I forget what's guidance.
You can add a d4 to something within a minute after me casting it.
Yeah.
So 28 to persuasion.
Wow. Danny, do you want to make a check?
Yeah. I'm just. Oh, I was like, where's the roll 20? There it is.
Very good.
That's important.
Boom. Oh, come on.
All right. Was that a persuasion? Okay.
It's persuasion.
Go ahead and RP what you guys would say,
I
regardless of what you rolled.
said it's just Corvine.
Right?
Or like, that's what I said, except, different tone of voice.
Fair enough. And Corbin?
Olivia, I know this looks bad, but know that I wouldn't hurt you or anyone else.
Yeah, she's okay. She's okay.
She breathes out heavily several times and sort of seems to come to grips, and she reaches out a hoof towards Corvine, in a manner almost as if to touch you and to see as if you're real, versus reaching out a hoof like take my hoof kind of.
Yeah.
Corbin, approaches her, tell her to do that.
Alright. She sort of very hesitantly and gingerly sort of pokes you and touches you slightly when the sudden sound of books falling to the ground suddenly come from off to the side, sort of startling everyone a little bit. Well, okay. I presume it would startle people.
No, you vulture! Wait, there are no vultures. There's no predators.
Of course, are they predators or are they just scavengers?
No, you
Vultures are
kleptomaniac. What
To
are you
be
doing?
fair, it's simply the sounds of falling books. Who knows what that could have been?
I'm assuming.
his
I'm
nose
assuming
like,
it is no.
bye.
No, I'm
Um,
just saying it's no because I know it's no.
No.
Olivia sort of looks off to the side, sort of like jumps a bit at the noise and looks around, then looks back at Corvine. So that's a fumble. What just got fumbled? Was that you attempting to? Was that attempting to steal another book, Pizza? Is that what that was?
It was either trying to steal the book, more books, or it was trying to bluff.
Run, pizza, run.
Alright.
I would cast invisibility again, but I can't.
Was that fumble you trying to steal more books? Is that what that was for? I need to know precisely what that was for so I can flavor it correctly. Okay. After she finishes, you suddenly hear a very loud cacophony of noise from an aisle over. And you even hear the door to the front sort of burst open as Ontario bursts in, and he's like, "Madam Olivia, what? Hey you there! What are you doing over there?"
Oh, now you're in. Where were you when we were fighting this monster?
As a note, Pizza's
call it that.
actually under a pile of books and is mildly injured. You'll have a -1 to your next skill check.
Especially if that skill check is a bluff to say I'm not stealing any books.
Can I try to steal a book while kind of unburying Amber?
Yeah, help put them back on the shelves.
Yes.
Wink, wink.
Alright, go ahead and give me that, and then we'll go back. Go ahead and give me that real quick, and then we'll go back to Olivia.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Does he have line of sight?
It appears Ontario has caught on to your wiles, and we'll address that moment. We'll address that in a moment. Your eyes. I saw them. There was something. I was so scared. all I could do was run and be afraid. I don't. What happened? I remember there was the book, and also I just felt so angry and hungry.
Olivia,
What?
Olivia. Look, listen. You've been through a lot. Even I don't know if you even know what you've been through, but you've been through a lot. We just rest for now. We'll take care of this slowly.
I'll make sure not to let anyone else touch this book. That could end badly.
Yeah. Put that away. Just don't get rid of it. Really, just
No. No.
You are not touching that book again.
No, not me. No. No, it's I don't know what happened, but I remember right before whatever happened, Snowdawn. Take it to House Snowdawn. I'm sure they can make sense of it.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
If anyone can understand what is going on, it would be them.
I don't think any ungulate should touch this book again.
You might be right. But if we don't understand what it is, then maybe that'll happen again.
Perhaps I should look at it personally.
What are you?
Do you know what happened after you opened it?
I remember Are you tasking Detect Magic on the book now?
No, I was saying that's what should have happened, last session.
Fair. I remember I opened the book. I remember when I held it, it felt so wrong. It felt so. And I remember looking at the pages and I didn't understand what was written on them. I think I remember something. I remember hearing? I think I remember hearing a voice, I think. It was an incantation, I think? And then suddenly I remember there were two great big eyes, I think, and two very long, thin teeth. And a smooth head.
The incantation was I'm a cat.
Okay.
I remember feeling it. It went inside of me and around me, I think. Give me a minute.
Take all the time you need. Take it.
As a side note, over at the Boca Lounge, Ontario has noticed your attempts at preserving the books, and is looking at you very angrily and says in low breath, "This is why we don't allow commoners into these halls. You're all filthy crooks, every single one of you."
I'm looking for information.
Get out.
Shortly.
Get out. or so help me, I'll have the city guard in here before you can even before you even close that book.
Ah.
Rude. Yes. That was very rude.
Ontario isn't the most polite of individuals. Um, which book? I guess it's just one of the books you grabbed.
the one that we successfully got away with.
Gotcha.
The nat 20.
Yes, that 20.
Prior to the nat one.
I will get to that in a second. Because being a nat 20, it's a special book, and I will address that in a moment.
He needs to figure out what it is.
Ooh.
I know what it is, but to give it time, I don't want it to divulge what it says in the middle of a conversation.
Give it the attention it deserves.
Exactly.
So,
And I remember... Yes, I remember... It was darkness, I think? And I remember she sort of looks up at Dandy. I think I remember you looked so small. And you looked kind of like food?
Danny is a little bit flinching, but then he gets like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I remember your eyes. She turns towards Corvine. I remember your eyes. There's something all of a sudden I just wasn't hungry. I was scared. I was so afraid. What did you do? What happened to me exactly?
You became, at least from a shadowy form, like me.
A shadowy form?
Yes. Perhaps it's best to explain this by showing you just how different I am. Don't panic.
Okay.
Understood?
She nods. I
So
notice Pagwan takes a step back.
She takes off the cloak.
Her eyes grow wide as she takes in the form of Corvine. What are you?
From what little I know, I'd say what I'm called is a periton. It's a type of predator.
And when you say that, she sort of her gaze and head sort of drift off to the side as if she's trying to, like, it seems it's like she's trying to remember something. It's like a periton. Miss Winterblood, correct?
Corvine, yes.
Her eyes narrow slightly. Were both your parents Winterbloods?
She's gonna look a little defensive about that. You're like, we are not incestuous.
I wasn't insinuating such.
No, I don't know which family my mom is from.
You don't know.
It's one of the details my father would never tell me.
What was your father's name again?
Trueheart.
Yes, I think I've heard of Trueheart. Wait, I think I remember now. Dandy, right?
Yeah, yeah. What's up?
Help me up, please.
He does. He gives a. Just pulls her up.
I think I might have some answers that you seek. Well, somewhere in here, I think.
Are you feeling okay?
I feel weak. Other than that, I feel okay. Well, I'm still terrified by you, Miss Winterblood, but it's not really your
That's
fault.
understandable.
I think, yes, I think I might be able to find some information. It's the least I can do, I think, to maybe answer some of your questions. Although it's going to take a bit of time for me to find it. There's a lot of information to go through.
You should probably get some rest first.
Yes.
Well, I'd give myself a few days to do this endeavor anyways.
Yes.
But still, I think you should take the grimoire to House Snowdawn. Perhaps you do, I assume you know this, but if you don't, they specialize in the arcane and the such. If anybody can make sense of this, I'm sure they can, and perhaps even remove its fangs, as it were.
Check on Violet later.
I'll keep your offer in mind.
Oh, and one more thing. When you see Ontario, have him take you. Well, how's it? The notes.
Speaking of Ontario, I don't know what that ruckus was about, but could you say about calming him down? It sounded like he was pretty mad at some of our members.
I'll have to see what is going on, but talk to Gear. Gear?
Gary?
Gear? I don't remember how to say this, but we'll say Gear.
As it's spelled.
It's spelled like so.
Yeah.
I talked to Gear. He's not officially the head of the house. Daddy is, but my father isn't going to talk to anyone. Gear is the one you want to talk to. Tell him what you saw and what you found.
Hmm. Okay.
As for me, I think I'll rest for a while, and then I'll see what we can do for you, Miss Coraline, or Miss Winterblood.
She puts her cloak back on. She says, I don't think you should tell anyone about me. I think they'd react worse than you did.
There's a lot of things House Paw doesn't tell people. We're used to keeping secrets.
I understand.
Anyway, I'll be fine. If you wouldn't mind, I need to be with Ontario for a moment.
I was going to clean up the mess those two children made. But
Did sound like quite a mess.
Children, they say. As you, I presume, then in that case, you head over to the source of the ruckus.
yeah, This, or I'll start with this one. It was closer, I guess.
Correct. Actually, you know, funny enough, hold on a second. Oh, no. Alright, this is... There we go.
Oh, by the way.
Oh no!
That's a lot of books.
Yes,
By the way, I stopped to catch my breath too. Putting myself back at full health.
wow. Apparently you
I
really
didn't
got
take
your
any
breath
damage,
good.
so that's better than you, I guess.
Um,
No damage.
Ontario is busy putting books back when you go over there, and he just sort of growls at both of you hostilely, with clear hostility as you get approach.
We're just here to clean this up.
No, go,
Go.
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 If you no longer have any business, go.
And where was your business when your friend turned into a monster?
He blinks a couple of times. What did you say?
Olivia was in danger.
And you weren't there.
Wait, she was?
That's not fair to him.
Where is she? Where is she now?
She's
She's
fine.
in the other core.
She he barrels past the both of you and around the corner. Mistress Olivia! Mistress Olivia! What did they do to you, Mistress Olivia? What did they do? You hear a very soft reply. It's fine. They didn't do anything to me. In fact, they helped. But they're the thieves! I caught two of them trying to steal from the library! Relax.
That isn't entirely true.
He turns around and growls. I saw with my own eyes!
Not that. That we didn't do anything. We brought an item for her, and it ended up
You
causing
see
a
Olivia
problem.
sort of like a nope, like crossing her hoof across her neck.
Right. But why?
Ontario sort of narrows his eyes. Ontario, could you take me to my chambers? I feel very weak. He looks down at her, looks up at you guys. He brings a hook to his face and then points it towards you guys, you know, that got my eyes on you kind of gesture.
Danny responds with, "How are you organizing these books? I need to know so I can put them back."
Don't touch them! You're no longer welcome in this library. Leave! No commoners allowed.
I'm not a commoner.
Very well. Invited guests only.
Bai
You
Guang
are no longer invited.
Olivia.
sneakily casts Druid Craft so that Ontario just has the scent of a skunk following him around for a little bit.
Beautiful. You know what?
All respectable individuals indeed.
I'm not going to have you roll for that. That just happened. And he doesn't even notice.
He hasn't noticed yet. Hilarious. He's like, what's that smell?
I know, it's in his nose, is where I was aiming.
Oh dear. I see something like gets a horrible looking face. Like, oh, what is?
Please.
Oh, it seems as though he's gonna be a little sick to his stomach.
Must be the remnants of what we fought.
Oh, even so, go before I call the guard. Come, Mistress Olivia. Is he? Actually, very carefully picks her up. Perhaps a bit more gently than would have been anticipated or expected of him. And he very carefully makes his way over to this staircase.
And Corvine melancholy waves to Olivia.
She waves weakly back.
Same spell, scent of lavender for Olivia, so she doesn't notice the skunk stench.
Dandy, Baiguang.
Yes.
He walks up and slaps you in the face.
Yeah, that was a little rude.
Oh, they don't know what I did.
They don't, but still.
He was annoying and rude.
I understand that, but can't just do whatever we want. Sometimes we just gotta listen to them.
Yes, you also... Oh, and you still get slapped in the face.
Rude.
Baiguang shrugs and accepts this.
He's like, boom,
He regrets nothing, but he
you take
accepts
4
the
damage
slap.
from the face slap.
Well, if you're gonna do actual damage, you're gonna have to roll a hit.
Oh my goodness!
Well,
No,
at that point, it's an actual attack roll. So
don't roll
Otherwise-
damage.
otherwise,
I
the
have
flavor.
a roll of advantage for basically a... What's it called?
A
surprise attack?
Surprise attack, yes.
No, I've killed a character doing damage for a slap before. Don't do it.
Oh, me too, huh?
Hey, I didn't...
He
Maybe
missed
you
anyway.
Yeah, no, that's probably a bad idea.
He strikes the shimmering energy around me, but it doesn't actually make it through to my face.
Oh, this is why it's like... I'm thinking, is there anything I could do to make this actually hit? Nah, there isn't.
You probably shouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
That said,
Plus, you could also
gesture-
say it was reckless to get advantage anyway. He recklessly slapped him.
What you could do is you could suddenly throw a no at him.
sudden no.
No!
Anyway, so we're leaving this room? Or are we waiting for the guards to come and do that for us?
Well, I presume you're leaving Miss Winterblood.
You know what? I'll put one of these books back on the shelf and then leave. So what's the title of the book?
This particular one is The Various Unglets of Rain and Their Position in Society.
Okay, that's a boring one. I put it there and then I leave. Now I'm gonna stop to read it.
Okay.
Where do Pegasi fit in all this?
And when
Why
you
are
touch the book,
Okay, I'm
You-
back. What happened?
you suddenly
I
take
turn
on
into
the
an
form
ungulate.
of a...
What happened, guys?
I take on the shadowy form of an ungulate. Because I
Nothing
touched
much.
the grimoire of ungulateness.
the glowing form of an ungulate.
Corvine decided to leave the library and put a book back on her way out. And I was about to ask Baiguang whether or not he had departed the library.
He's departing.
Very good. And Dandy?
He feels cheated out of a slap, but he just leaves the library.
All right. Now then, on to the other two who have been hopefully neglected this entire time. So, the book that you grabbed, once you are now outside and, well, I should clarify. When you guys step outside, do you pop open the book and start reading it?
No, bad idea. Not in the open.
Fair enough. So the question is, once the two of you leave the library, what do you do? Where do you go? What do you do?
Explore?
Take a look around House Spa.
Look for a dark alleyway.
For example,
Pizza.
well, for example, you could try and see if you get a walking tour of the spa. You could
Okay.
head outside of the enclave and head into the city and go do something.
So pizza explores?
Question.
Specifically with a question mark on the end.
Yeah, we're going to the bar. The bar. So the question is what would you two like to do?
You don't go to those taverns. I've heard people get killed there a lot now.
All right, let's go to the tavern.
All right, so the two of you head on over there. All right, sounds good. As you arrive to a near tavern, it's not uncommon for people to open up taverns near the various household enclaves, and then name it Tavern Winterfrost or Ba Inn or whatever have you. Good for business. That said, you pop into Ba Inn, and it's about what you'd expect at this time of day, which we'll put at midday. Yeah, it's got some patrons there, and they're minding their own business, drinking a bit of this and the other. And as you walk in, the owner of the place sort of looks up and looks at the two of you and sort of gives you a bit of a nod and then goes back to his business. Most of the patrons here are reindeer, as to be expected, and you think you see the odd anglet or two elsewhere. And there's probably a good, we'll say about a dozen patrons here. A couple at the bar drinking by themselves, a couple of friends over there, so on and so forth. There's no one sitting in the corner with a giant exclamation point over their head as a quest giver.
Darn it.
But there is that one NPC who's a tutorial NPC who's repeatedly saying press B to jump.
Oh, okay. Well, I press B to jump.
Congratulations, you jumped through the roof.
Woo. Actually. Is there a table in the corner that is unoccupied?
There is.
Pizza, do you have any objections if we quick grab that corner table to read the book? Sweet.
Alright, so you guys take the corner?
I'm also gonna pull...
Wait, there is an objection, but
Oh, wait,
first
there's more.
goes up to the bar.
The owner looks at you. And, oh, how can I help you? A couple of times. Sure thing, miss. Well, I mean, if you really want the finest wine, you're gonna have to. Look, I'm gonna let with you, miss. This sort of establishment doesn't have anything that nice. If you really want stuff that good, you're gonna have to talk to the nobles themselves. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got plenty of good wine, just not what you're looking for.
You have to talk to the nobles themselves. I wonder when you're gonna find the time to do that.
Quick, I'd like to turn in my favor from House Winterfrost for some wine.
He
Not
pours
really.
he pours you a glass of wine. And if you want any more, just wave and I'll send someone over to fill you up. And the cost of the wine glass is probably some copper or a couple of silver pieces, which I'm not going to worry about. I figure at this level you guys have so many gold pieces that incidental cost like a glass of wine isn't really going to be a thing.
But what about the glass of
Incidental
wine that
cost.
was worth several gold?
Well, that's a different story. This is not that the glass of wine. The finest wine in all of Foenum might be worth like a platinum piece or two. But this is
Well,
Oh, really? 'Cause
Funny
I think I
enough.
spent more than that.
A platinum piece is only 10 gold, but I guess compared to coppers, that is expensive for a beverage.
I mean, a single gold piece might be a year's wage for a commoner.
Yes.
holy smokes, those
Yeah, well,
pirates were rich.
They're
So-
pirates.
Just to put prices in perspective, that might be a thing, depending on how successful this bread and butter commoner is. Now, if you live in the city and you say you actually have a craft, you might earn a decent more. You might get like 4 or 5. But even
Silver
so,
or something.
that said, you were given your wine, and you said, if you want more, feel free to ask.
If
And I
you, craft,
presume that he is.
if you craft equipment for adventurers, you're rich as well.
The market might be a little inflated there. Anyways, And the two of you sit in the corner and crack open your book, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Don't crack the spine, though.
Do either of you speak Glassy?
Yes.
All right. It is. Give me a history check, would you? Both of you, even for that matter.
For the love of.
You have a +8 and you got a 10.
Yep.
Wow.
Just gonna clear off a section of my desk quick and.
Well,
Oh,
thankfully. Pizza. Quick question. Do you speak Glassy? Is that one of your languages?
I don't. Maybe. Let's check.
Glassy is the language of the ring.
Yeah, do you speak deer? Yes.
Basically. As an alpaca, you speak common, because that's a language that everyone speaks. Alright, that's fine. Not a big deal. Basically what it boils out to is, even though you don't speak Glassy, No does. And there's several times when he has a trouble trying to figure out what a word is, just because it's such an old text. You're still able to piece the pieces together. So between the two of you, you're able to read the book. It just takes a
Hooray.
while and a fair bit of back and forth and sort of putting your heads together.
I can read ancient Glassy, not modern Glassy.
No is your Glassy to common dictionary that you have next to the other book.
Alright, give me a second to find this piece of information. It is over here.
Wait, did you have like notes for each individual book?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I
very
had
thorough.
the entire library.
I mean, if you'd been able to steal more books, then well, who knows?
Okay.
I had
So-
the entire library. Every single book had at least a page.
You found once you start looking at the book, it becomes very, very obvious this book was not supposed to be where you found it. The best way probably to assume it got there is perhaps some person put this back where it wasn't supposed to be.
Ontario.
The first thing you notice is the handwriting in it is very, very hoof writing. Inside it is very, very old, very ancient. This thing is fairly well worn, and you get the feeling that you're holding a piece of legitimate history. And upon reading it, you realize that
I realized that you cut out a lot.
You realize that what you're holding is a journal. And this journal appears to belong to a sheep from antiquity. In it, the sheep details a rather rough life. The first several entries are, as you go further into the book, the hoof writing gets better and better. At first, it's rather clunky, as if the writer is not inherently fluent with Glassy, and it gets better as they go on. And the first several entries are written sort of in the past, as if someone were to sit down and write their journal about events that happened prior to the moment when they started. And this sheep talks about life under the talon of a predator. He says that apparently, okay. He talks about how he grew up in the meadow, as like most sheep did at the time, rather afraid of the predators and being scared of their approach. And he discusses briefly. He doesn't go into detail because it's obvious from the way he wrote that the reader, who's probably himself, is well familiar with these tactics, but he makes references to tactics they would employ to avoid the predators. However, apparently there's that one time it wasn't effective and he was captured. He doesn't give much detail about his captor, other than the fact that his captor enjoyed playing with him and toying with him, and basically scaring him witless whenever possible. And apparently, he was in the company of this predator for some time.
Cut out.
I cut out.
Cut out.
What was the last thing I said?
I actually heard most of that. So
Yeah, I didn't hear any cut out.
Yeah.
Very good then. He talks about a reindeer. Well, what he thought was a reindeer, managing to, in a sense, purchase him from his captor. He then goes on to talk about how this reindeer, he keeps putting in quotation marks, treated him a lot better. After about a year or two, the original predator that had captured him tried to come back to get him back, but this reindeer, quote unquote, wouldn't do it, refused. He then goes on to talk about heading north into a bitter coldness in a land he'd never seen before. He talks about the great snow, and he talks about meeting other reindeer, no quotations this time, for the first time in his life. He talks about how there seemed to be 4 or 5 different tribes, and how they basically survived despite the harsh conditions, and they did so rather primitively. They seemed to spend much of their time attempting to stay alive. His master, as he begrudgingly refers to it, apparently decided that the different tribes should unite and stand together. It appears, according to the journal, that it was somewhat successful in the endeavor, and that they came together and centrally located. And this reindeer, quote unquote, who was his master, for a while was an integral part of it. However, he doesn't know why, but for some reason, when it came time to figure out who was in charge, his master was kicked out, was exiled, and refused part of what was going on. He himself was allowed to stay, however, and basically became a free sheep after that. His journal then details several attacks from predators from that point on, but because of the amount of time he'd spent in the care quotation marks of a predator, he understood well how they think, how they work, and how they act. And as a result of his know-how, this small band of reindeer in this frozen north managed to stave off these attacks and managed to build essentially what akins to a small settlement of some kind. The journal entry ends basically with him talking about how he had lived his days long and well, and that he had managed that in the time a few more sheep had found their way up to where he was, and he had felt it important to pass his knowledge on to them. He mentions one of them was supposed to be a decoy that thankfully the other reindeer managed to save. And the final journal entry is that he hopes that this knowledge that he has written down here, and that the knowledge passed down to his generations, may prove to still be of use to the future. In the last journal entry, he jots down, and finally the elders have decided upon a name for our little settlement. They've decided to name after themselves, Rain. And that's where the journal ends.
Okay.
And it says nothing about a sanctuary to the north.
Again, this journal seems to be more focused on his day-to-day life. But yeah, it doesn't happen to mention anything like that. You can also tell from it that by the time you finished your journal entry, the predators were still alive and well. Also, to whisper, it's / I think, W, then space, the name of the person you want to whisper to, and then after that, another space and whatever else you want to whisper to them.
Okay, I see. Excuse me. Why do you have to post things in Discord, Clint?
So, so where are we by the time they've finished reading this entire book?
You guys have. It's not a very big book. He's a very brief writer, and he doesn't write every single day.
I was asking pretty much that question.
Oh, okay.
You can. So the book itself wasn't a very long read, and to find them, you're going to have to. To find them, I'm going to ask for. Let's see here, an insight, investigation, or perception. I could also accept persuasion.
Oh.
Persuasion running with the assumption that you basically ask as you look for them.
Okay.
19 good enough?
All right, Danny, what were you rolling? Persuasion?
Perception.
Perception? Okay.
That was
You guys have no pro. Oh, dear pizza, what was that?
You can't find yourself.
Uh,
Where are you? Who are you?
Stuff.
You don't remember.
Oh gosh. So what? You didn't have to roll perception. This perception or persuasion, or whatever have you, was for them to find you guys. So unless this was an attempt to find yourself in a metaphysical sense,
Or to hide.
You're blind.
If this was an attempt to hide, everybody knows where you are.
Hold
a
on.
giant
People who
neon
weren't
sign
looking for
appears
you.
in the sky, pointing down.
I am going to try to find myself.
Um,
That's actually fairly accurate according to real life. Okay.
yeah, you're not doing the best of jobs. You're not failing utterly, but there's so many other things distracting you that the journey of self-discovery will have to wait for a little while.
Yep.
All right.
Such is life.
We'll say, for convenience sake, you guys finished reading that last word when the party storms in.
And Danny runs up like a sheep rocket.
I take offense to that storms in. I'm the one who is stormy.
Danny runs up, just screams at him, "You!" He puts his foot down, make a con save. Make a con save.
Oh.
Okay.
Amber, make a con save.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Dice, why do you do this?
Yes. And doing a Constitution save, it's fairly simple. Again, it's a D20 plus your Constitution saving throw bonus, which I don't believe you're proficient in, so it'd just be a D20 plus your Constitution modifier.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
He plants his foot down and screams, "Idiots!" And you all take 10 damage. 10 thunder damage.
Wow.
10 thunder damage?
Yes.
Oh,
And now
my.
everyone heard that.
What was that?
That was
Okay.
thunderclap.
Don't do.
All right, as Danny slams his hoof onto the table and screams at a thunderous, basically ripple erupts from him, blasting Clint and Amber.
Wait.
No, and Amber up against the wall.
So,
I'm resistant
doesn't
to
have
thunder
any-
damage.
It's just damage.
Corvine's gonna grasp onto Andy and be like, I know you're mad,
slams against the wall.
Still doesn't
Several-
have knockback.
Several
It's not
denizens.
Thunderwave.
Several denizens.
It's just damage.
Yes, but with something like that, I have a hard time believing that an object like a book wouldn't react in some way. Several
We don't
denizens.
We don't want to.
Several denizens in the
I'm pretty sure that's
Tavern.
everyone. It's a
turns and looks and is surprised, and the barkeep as well looks up, is surprised and sort of glares at the sort of situation.
and it's like Dandy's like mad, and then he realizes, oh, I hurt them. You know, and it's just like looks around. He just like just has a realization of and then just looks around and just like sort of shrinks on himself. You know.
So, what exactly happened?
The knockback was, yes, you're correct. I did mix up, but
It's not Thunderwave. It's Thunderclap. It's just damage.
the knockback is still flavor. It's not like you mechanically were knocked
Yes.
several squares. So it's just more of a flavor like, oh!
No. What happened exactly?
What I mean, how are you hurt? I'm magic. Oh my god, I can use magic. I
Yes,
finally
but-
figured it out. Yes.
Candy, that's a very nice thing, but try
But,
not to use it on your allies.
You guys, why'd you have to steal those books? Why couldn't you have just waited? Why? Why'd you have to do that?
Any responses?
Dang, Dandy, you scary.
So,
Now to clarify,
can Corvine walk around to grab the book?
yes, the book appears to be fine. Yes,
I hurt you guys. Here, let me. I have magic. Let me see if this works. And he walks over.
Be very careful about what you do.
Mhm.
You
What?
just got these powers. Be very careful how you use them.
I'll try.
Hey!
And he.
Hey! This is the
What?
barkeeper, by the way. What are you doing over there?
Nothing. I'm just.
A standard
Sorry.
meeting.
Standing reading my hoof. I got my eyes on you. Don't break anything.
Yeah. Don't worry. Just I'll try to. He just he calmly does a incantation in Ba, or like not really calmly, just sort of nervously, and just puts his hoof on Amber.
Why are you making all those horrible noises?
He'll put his hoof on Amber. Amber gets 8 of that HP back if she did she use Surefoot? Can you use Surefooted against that?
A Surefoot
Against
prevents movement, I believe.
Oh,
You're
Was that-
unaffected by difficult terrain and have advantage against being knocked prone.
it was that thing you said where she could take half damage from things.
Oh, uncanny dodge.
Yeah,
I suppose I can.
she mentioned she could use that. She asked if she could use that.
Well, she asked about the other thing, but she can use uncanny dodge.
Well, that would be
Yes.
one
Yeah,
way of reducing it, so you could take 5 damage from that rather than 10.
Which
And,
means that you would heal back to
yeah.
full.
Danny puts his hoof on you, and you heal. You heal the wounds that you took. It's just like he just
Heal.
says, "Sorry, I'm
I was just a little. I got carried away there.
So, Corvin's going to be flipping through this journal.
Well, the previously before mentioned information is the information that you more or less find. Although, I will need a
History?
yes.
So I can roll terribly on that, too.
The fortunate thing is you won't fail it. It just sort of takes you. It's more of a gauge of how long it will take you to filter through his terrible handwriting and the ancient hoof writing. Sorry, and the ancient nature of the language. Your base, aka your ancient glass, is a little rusty.
Well, you two, do you know what this means?
No.
No.
Remember? The question was asked of you.
No.
Wait, what? Sorry.
This book.
Sorry, I was so entranced of reading something else.
Oh. Well, the question's been asked of No and Amber. Go ahead, Corbin.
You took this book?
Yes.
Have you read it yet?
Yes.
This seems to imply that his captor was like me, maybe?
Maybe, but not necessarily. It doesn't say outright the captor was.
It does not specify the species of the captor, nor
Sure
the
does. It specifies them
quote-unquote-
as a reindeer, quote
the
unquote.
quote-unquote reindeer that rescued him from his captor.
And then became the new captor.
Who apparently treated him pretty well.
But then he was exiled.
The new captor, not the sheep.
Yeah. The new captor was exiled from what was going to be raid.
I did write down the important points of all that. We need to refer back to it later.
So, I'll have to return this though, right?
I have no objections.
Danny gives him a. Danny gives him a look. I'm not even sure if it's a good or bad look.
It's a confused one. Huh?
It's not. No, it's like. It's just a. It's probably more along the lines of a good look.
I have no objections so long as Amber has no objections. We'll get it back later.
I heard that.
You can't hear the meta voice.
There's two of us and only one of him.
Alright, so then what do you guys do then?
What time is it?
I presume
We've got
that,
minutes.
if I recall correctly, Corbin, you picked up the book and you were currently flipping through it, correct?
Yes.
Alright.
And I noticed some stuff about the
At this
quote-unquote reindeer.
At this point, we will say it is early afternoon.
Early afternoon, okay.
It took you guys a little bit to track them down.
Mm-hmm. It seems like I should hold all the books for the group.
Yes.
So then,
All right, you hold the books, I hold the money and the artifacts and everything else.
No. I'll keep my money to myself, thank you.
Not your money, the money that we collectively find as a group.
Right. Yes.